All right, it's Sunday morning. It means it's time for the Daytona 500. Want to go ahead and touch base with you on things that have happened this week, starting with Wednesday. Alex Bowman signed a 3-year contract with Hendrick Motorsports. I think that's huge, given the fact that that now lifts a weight off his shoulders and having to really dig down and pull off a great year to get signed with Ally and Hendrick. I think that's going to actually help him out this year and give him, I'm going to say 3 wins this year and get into the playoffs and maybe into the second round of the playoffs this year. On top of that, Ross Chastain got a multi-year extension with Trackhouse. And that was interesting too because Alex Bowman and Ross Chastain were the 2 most talked about candidates to take over the ride at Stewart Haas that Kevin Harvick is vacating at the end of the year. You all know Kevin Harvick is going to go to Fox next year, so we're going to see him on a couple of the broadcasts this year. Should be fun. Should be interesting. Love seeing Kevin on the broadcast. So it's been a great week. NBC announced that they are going to be running the Arca Menards East and West Series and also the Whelen Modified Series on CNBC this year. They're going to be tape delayed, but they are going to be showing all of the races that are not combined events on CNBC. It should be pretty good, and it shows NBC's commitment to really getting into that grassroots efforts of racing. So that gets us to Thursday. Well, actually, let's go back to Wednesday. So in the morning, they announced Alex Bowman's contract extension. In the afternoon, they start qualifying, or in the evening, they start qualifying. And last one out at the end of the fast round, that second round, is Alex Bowman. And he beat his teammate Kyle Larson by 0.17 of a second. So this is Alex's 6th year on the front row of the Daytona 500. I believe it is his 3rd pole. So yeah, they definitely know how to build fast cars at Hendrick. They also know how to set them up to be really fast. That played a role in the first duel race on Thursday night. So basically, I don't even think Alex turned a lap at full speed, and he was falling back. And his car was set up for that single run, that single lap. It had no stability in it. And, it showed because he was almost a lap behind right away. That first duel was pretty uneventful, and Joey Logano went on a win. Can't say enough about that. The reigning champ looked really strong. Penske cars always do. Ryan Blaney was up there leading for a while as well. We'll talk a little bit more about Ryan here in a second. Let's go over to that second duel. There's a little more action in that second duel. From the lead, Kyle Busch got thrown into the fence, hit the wall after being pushed by Daniel Suarez, and I guess his car wasn't as stable out front as some of the other ones were. So ends up Aric Almirola was leading that, and he did a really good job and took the win there. So he will start in position 4, and that basically set the starting grid for the Daytona 500. So we have on the first row we have Bowman and Larson. On the second row we have Logano. We have Logano and we have Almirola. So 2 Chevys, 2 Fords. Let's see how that shootout happens. And it'll be interesting to see that. Everybody's saying the Fords looked really strong in the duels. They did. I think the Chevys were more set up for speed. The Fords were set up for stability and to run those twins because they couldn't make any adjustments between qualifying and the twins. So, the Hendrick teams took that to stride, knowing they were going to do that, and they took that gamble to get the pole and get on that front row. So, Friday night, that gets us there, and the truck race. Zane Smith won that in a rain-shortened race. There was a lot of aggression, a lot of aggressive driving in that race, and hopefully that won't carry over to the 500 today. I have a feeling it might, but congrats to Zane Smith, the reigning champ there, and speaking of reigning champ, he will also be in the Daytona 500, as will last year's Xfinity champion Ty Gibbs. So this is the first time we're having all 3 champs from all 3 national series in the Daytona 500. Should be really interesting. But let's not get there yet. Let's go back and talk a little bit about the Xfinity race. The beef, it's what's for dinner 300. That one was, a little aggressive as well. And we'll say that JR Motorsports guys, they were set up pretty well. They were running 2, 3, 4, and 5 at one point, and they could have taken that and ran with it. Now, Brandon Jones popped out of line. He got turned, brought out late caution. Then that brought Sam Meyer up to the front, and he got a little impatient. He tried passing his teammate, Justin Allgaier, on the outside. Ended up doing a little squeeze job there. He got turned. And that was on the last lap. It was after the white flag. So when that happened, the next flag declared the winner. Well, it was a drag race. And if I looked at it, I really thought that John Hunter Nemechek was ahead of Austin Hill. But Austin Hill actually had the momentum and was leading at the time the flag came out. Not when the lights came on, but when the flag came out and Austin Hill was declared the winner. So that was his second Beef It's What's for Dinner 300 in a row. Which takes us to today. What's going to happen? So Ryan Blaney was calling that race for Fox yesterday. Gotta say, I love the fact you weren't wearing a tie, Ryan. I think that ties and jackets are a little overrated. And you probably just wear a golf shirt or something when calling races. But, Fox and NBC, they prefer the jackets and the ties and whatnot. But Ryan was in the booth, did a great job. Austin Dillon was in the booth. He did a good job too. Little side note on Fox and their broadcast for the truck race on Friday night. Did not like it. It was a full of nobodies and nobody I wanted to hear from. Between Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons, and I take that back because Trevor Bayne was coming live from the studio and Regan Smith was there. And I love Regan Smith. He did a great job. But everybody else on that broadcast, I could have lived without hearing from. Now, I'll take that back to where we were going today. So, Ryan Blaney, he's up in the booth. Let's go back to Atlanta 2 years ago. He won that race after calling the race the night before or the day before in the Fox booth. So, I'm sticking with my prediction of Ryan Blaney to win. Should be interesting, though. We'll see what actually happens because he's got to get through the big one, the other big one, and possibly the other big one. So, love to hear what you think, what's going on this week. And you know what? All that's left now is dropping the green flag. And at that point, we'll catch you at the end of the race. It's going to be a great one. Can't wait to see what happens. Catch you later. Let's go, guys. Let's go.